Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Unknowingly, we all know that the truth is not somewhere away from us, outside us. And therefore, whether we go to the temples and stand before the Lord, we travel a long distance and reach Badrinath. After reaching Badrinath, then we stand before the Lord and close our eyes. So we have gone all the way just to close the eyes. See, similarly, when some nice bhajan is going on, we immediately close our eyes. Because we all know the truth is not anywhere outside. And because of this, we have a great attraction for meditation. Any Tom, Dick and Harry wants to practice meditation. And therefore, when we go around, they ask us, do you deal in meditation? First question. Because everything they have been doing in life. So, meditation also do. And when we start doing meditation, our frustration begins in life. Therefore, here the great teacher tells us something which is very difficult to digest. He says, 23rd mantra, Anatma Rupam cha katham samadhi, Atma Swarupam cha katham samadhi, Astiti Nastiti katham samadhi, Moksha Swarupam yadi sarvamekam. 4 options are given. If we consider ourselves to be the body, then there is no samadhi for the body. So we are all considering ourselves to be the body, forget about samadhi. Thank God. Now second thing, Atma Swarupam cha katham samadhi. If you recognize or accept yourself, I am the Satchidananda, Paramananda, Paramatma, then what for samadhi? So when you consider yourself to be body, no samadhi. If you consider yourself to be Atma Tattva, no samadhi. Third, Astiti Nastiti, you have got doubt whether I am Paramatma or CH Atma, Asti or Nasti, this or that. So when you are in doubt, you cannot have samadhi. And Moksha Swarupam yadi sarvamekam. If there is only but one absolute reality that we are, then what for samadhi? See, freedom from samadhi is Avadhut Gita. See, friends, don't struggle unnecessarily in life. Don't struggle. One of the most, subtle things Patanjali Maharshi has brought out. First he says Yama Sadhana, the don'ts in life. Then Niyama Sadhana, the do's in life. When the don'ts and do's are perfectly practiced, you are bound to be happy. Therefore, the third thing is Sthira Sukham. Therefore, all the spiritual practice is remaining in awareness and Prayatna Shaithilya effortlessly. Our whole life is a struggle to prove something constantly. So I want to prove to somebody, I love you, so I write on a paper, I love you, and give it to my friend. And She reads it and makes a laddu and throws in a garbage. My love has gone. Let us be very clear. We don't have to prove anything to anybody in this whole world. Do we try to prove that in the sleep, in deep sleep, I don't snore? You can never sleep then. The joy of snoring is Brahmananda. So don't worry. Be yourself. So moksha swarupam sthiti sarvamekam vishuddhosi samam tattvam videhastvam aja avyayaha janami na janami iti atmanam manyase katham. How do you say that I know the self or I don't know the self? Both the statements are wrong. In Kenopanishad, this thought comes. There the teacher talks to the student. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, na manaha, na vidmaha, na vijanimaha, yatha etat anusishya. Our sense organs, organs of action, our mind, our intellect are non-functional in the absolute truth. Understood? And the student says, yes, I understood very well. If it is the material science, the teacher will be very happy. But here the teacher bangs him. When I told you it cannot be understood, how dare you say you understood? See? Yadi manne se suvedeti dahanamevāpi nūnam tvam vetha brahmano rūpam. What you have understood Paramatma is only from the expressions of the Paramatma, not Paramatma. It is something like, I have seen electricity. How it looks like? See, like in the tube, the light, in the same manner. Light is the manifestation of electricity. It is not electricity. Life is the manifestation of the reality. Life is not the reality. Oh God, we were all the time thinking, Jada Chetana Bhed, I am the consciousness and the world is inert, and the consciousness is the reality. Consciousness is also not the reality. Then, absolute existence. Existence is also not the reality. See, friends, anything which can be cognized optionally is and is not, then the word usage is valid. When there is no option, can we have an option whether I am or I am not? There is no option. So when there is no option, how do you say that the reality is existence? Then what should we do? Keep your mouth shut. Maunam vyakhya prakatita para brahma tattvam yuvanam varshishtanti vasadrushi avrutam brahmanishthaihi acharyendram karakalita chinmudramanandarupam swatma raman mudita vadanam dakshinamurtimide. The instruction given by the teacher through the eloquence of the silence is through the chin mudra. Nothing is spoken in mudra. This is not for snuff. Realize. It is not a snuff mudra. The chin mudra is this I is no more identified with the body, prana and the mind and merge in the absolute, where language is faith. Therefore, Vishuddhasi samam tattvam tvam. You are the immaculate, pure, absolute being. Ajaha, never born, never iha, ever change. And therefore, how do you ever think that I know the self and I don't know the self? Both of them are wrong. See, this Kenopanishad says, Ajanat, avidjnatam vijanatam, vijnatam avijanatam. Those who say they know they have not known, and those who don't say they know they have known. All contradictions. So when the teacher scolds the student, you understood nothing, go and reflect again. Student goes, reflects, comes back, says the same sentence. Manne viditam, yes I know. Again the teacher looks at the student, then he says, Naham manne su vedeti, no na vedeti vedacha, yo nas tadveda tadveda, no na vedeti vedacha. I don't say I understood, but doesn't mean that I have not understood. In this way I have understood. In this manner he understands that the truth cannot be understood. He alone has understood. Understood? This is how only the language of contradiction alone can take us to the relative experience. Therefore, Janami iha na janami iti atmanam manyase katham. Therefore, any language that we use for referring ourselves, I know myself is wrong, I don't know myself is wrong, I know myself is right, and I don't know myself is also right. See? When I say I know myself, of course I know I am, very good. I don't know myself, yes, I don't know as you know me objectively. Today I went into that Soham channel TV's office. They had some problems, so I went there. So when I went there, my talks were already going on the channel. So when I entered that front desk door, excuse me, whom do you want to see? I said him. Can I say that I know myself or I don't know myself? Therefore, the only way to be is never to become anything. The moment we become somebody, we start talking. In the deep sleep, we do not become, therefore we don't talk. So, tattvamasyadi vakyena svatma hi pratipaditaha neti neti srutir bruyat anrutam panchabhautika. So by the Mahavakya like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Pragyanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tvameva you are that reality. All these Mahavakyas, they are necessarily, exclusively, Swatma eva pratipaditaha. When we talk about Tattvamasi, Tat, that, Tvam, thou, how that can be thou? That is that, you are you. So here in the Mahavakya analysis, it is said very simple way. We remove the conditioning of that and this. How to do that? Now here, an example. You know this minister who is heading the Ministry of Education. Yes. And now this person who is in the jail because of copying, he could not pass his examination. Yes, they are the same. So what we have done? We have removed the position of minister. We have removed him from the office of the minister. And here also we have removed the jail. We have removed the punishment. And what remains is a common denominator. The same person was earlier supporting the conditioning of the minister. Now the same person is supporting the conditioning of the jailbird. So what we have done? We have rejected the uncommon aspect of his personality and we have pinpointed the common aspect of his personality. In the same manner, the objectivity of the world, the otherness of the Ishvara, the God, and the limited presence of the Jiva. When these three conditionings are rejected, what remains is one common denominator which is supporting the Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, and that is our essential nature. Therefore, Tattvamasyadi Vakyena Svatma hi Pratipaditaha Neti Neti Shrutir Bruyat Anrutam Panchabhautikam. So all that is experience, now please keep this thought deeply in your system. Don't delete it. Okay? No temporary files unnecessarily occupy this. No, don't. These are temporary, permanently required. And what is that thought? Anything which is experienced through the sense organs, the mind and the intellect is an illusion. Very simple rule. That experience which does not involve the sense organs, the mind and the intellect, that experience alone is the reality. Now see. Waking experience gathered through the sense organs. Dream experience gathered through the mind. After studying the scriptures, conceptual understanding of the reality is remaining only as a concept, not the reality. And concepts have a knack of changing. See, what were our priorities when we were children and what is our priority now? Totally changed. See, friends. But there is one principle which is cognized not through the means of sense organs, not through the mind, not through the intellect. This eternal experience without any means of knowledge is the only reality. So, neti neti shruti bruyat anrutam pancha bhautikam. The whole world of relativity, born out of the five great elements, is an illusion. Atmannevatmana sarvam tvaya purnam nirantaram dhyata dhyanam nate chittam nirlajjam dhyayase katham. Shameless doing meditation. The joy, friends. Atmani eva atmana saram tvaya purnam. You are the only reality. Without you there cannot be anything. Now observe this principle. Where there is no I, my does not exist. See? Our worry is, if I die, what will happen to my wife, my children, my business, my property? If I is not there, my wife doesn't exist. I told you last time one story. A young couple, after 5 years of marriage, the wife asked the husband, "Honey, darling, suppose I die." The husband said, "Don't say that again. I'll get mad. Don't say that. No more talking on that topic." Okay. Another 5 years pass. After 10 years. "Darling, do you remember I asked you 5 years before, if I die, I told you that time, you also remember, I'll get mad." "No, now you have to listen. We are 10 years old. My question is, will you get married?" He said, "No, I won't get that mad." Get married again. And I definitely not that mad. Again, another 5 years have gone, 15 years crossed. "Honey, darling, do you remember I asked you after my death, will you get married? You also remember? I told you I'll get married." "Yes, but then you also said that you will not get that mad." I said, "Look here, mad person can do anything. I may get married." When I, as a husband, do not exist, where is the question of my wife? When I, as a father, doesn't exist, where is the question of my children? Everything is based on this I. And this is to be simply observed in our life. See, Vedanta sadhana is as simple as this. simply re-evaluate your own experiences in the light of wisdom. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya. If we re-evaluate our own past experiences, we are bound to have dispassion. See? Because what are our past experiences? We have been fulfilling our desires. Desire 1 fulfilled, 2nd fulfilled, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th. But have we discovered fulfillment in life? So can't we learn from this experience that the fulfillment of the desires is not equal to the fulfillment in life, and what we are seeking in life is fulfillment. And yet we don't learn from our own experiences. And when we don't learn from our own experiences, we go to Guru. Guru, uthao, try to help me. When we cannot help ourselves, how can others help us? See, friends, therefore it is extremely necessary. Only this spiritual practice that we are the one. There is nothing that has to be gained or that has to be lost. Every activity begins with a sense of incompleteness. When there is emptiness in the stomach, activity begins. Let us go to some hotel and take food. If you are, I don't know what I should do, okay, let us start some cereal. Eat easy. Because emptiness, incompleteness. See? Therefore here the teacher says, recognize that you are the reality. If you are not there, nothing else exists. If this is the truth, why don't you find out who are you? And then we come to know that I, the old man, cannot be the meaning of I. I, the thirsty person, cannot be the meaning of I. I, the miserable person, cannot be the meaning of I. I, the successful person, cannot be the meaning of I. Then who is this I? Then we come to know the one who supports the waking experiences but never suffers the limitations of a waker. The one who supports the dream experiences but never suffers the limitations of the dreamer. The one who supports the deep sleep experience but never sleeps. The one who is playing the game of meditation but who never does meditation. That is our essential. Go back to Patanjali. Prayatna Shaithilya, you are nobody. And when you are nobody, Ananta Samapatti, you merge in the absolute. Ananta Samapatti, merging in the absolute. This is the only spiritual practice according to Avadhuta Gita, wherein we dissolve our individuality. And if the individuality is not dissolved, it becomes stronger and stronger. Earlier I was a bhogi, now I is a yogi. Earlier I used to sleep all the time, now I sleep only in meditation. We have to have freedom from this I. And once the freedom from I is attained, then yoga rato va, bhoga rato va, it makes no difference. See, friends, you know, this freedom is like what? An actor is playing the role of a saint in one drama. In other drama, he is playing the role of a dacoit. Does it make any difference to him? Or a taxi driver taking a passenger to a temple and next time he is taking a passenger to a drinking booth. Does it make any difference to him? See, friends, come to discover this truth. The one which supports everything is never influenced by all that is supported. Like the space supports all the four elements. but the earth cannot bend the space, the water cannot wet the space, the fire cannot burn the space, the air cannot dry the space. In the same manner, the reality that is supporting Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti, Samadhi is the one. Only come to cognize this. That is you. Therefore, Atmani eva Atmana Sarvam Tvaya Purnam Nirantaram. And this is not a temporary condition of during meditation I am Brahman, after meditation I am frustration. No. It is a 24/7 experience. See, friends, that experience which begins and ends is an illusion. See, therefore, dhyata dhyanam nate chittam. When you are not the mind, where is the place for the meditation and the meditator? See, friends, 4 experiences we go through. Waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi. Waking experience is intellect predominant, buddhi pradhan, where logic, reason is the mainstay. The dream experience is mana pradhan. It is a mental hallucination. Therefore, there is only chaos in the dream. No logic, no reason, anything can appear and go. Then the deep sleep experience is ahankara pradhan. Ahankara is not ego. Don't mistake that ahankara word for the ego. Ahankara means it is a principle because of which the 5 elements are maintained in the form and the shape of a body. That principle is called as ahankara. In the deep sleep, everything is suspended, but the 5 elements do not disintegrate and they are still maintained. So the deep sleep is ahankara pradhan and meditation samadhi is chitta pradhan. All the samskara on the mind, they are maintained, and after the samadhi is over, again what was the last thought before entering the samadhi, from there again it begins. Because the wrong notions are still preserved in the samadhi. They are not deleted. See, friends. Therefore, Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti, Samadhi, they belong to the Upadhi. They are not for the reality. The reality is the one. It is supporting everything. It is eliminating everything. And that which eliminates is never influenced by what is illuminated. So, dhyata dhyanam nate chittam nirlajjam dhyayate katham. Don't do meditation. See how strong words are used. Nirlajjam. I am doing meditation. Meditation in progress. Take a detour. And what is going on in meditation? Only. I told so many times. And this is the only time the flight has to come. And suppose that aeroplane drops on our house. What will we do? Another funny thought. One person asked me this. Swamiji, when I sit for meditation, I always get one feeling that when I will start levitating and lifting and going up, what will happen? Depends where you are sitting. If you are sitting below the fan is moving. Chap. If you are sitting directly below the sky, you will go to Surya Loka. These are all the mental projections. In such time, something is gained through meditation. This illusion is valid, or meditation is only a cartoon of illusion. Yasya naiva krutenartham. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, he who has nothing to achieve in this world, and he who has nothing to protect in this world, he alone is living in meditation. anyone who has to do something in this world is far away from the reality. Anyone who has to protect in this world is far away from the reality. If somebody says that after I got up from my dream, I was trying and thinking, I wish I could smuggle all the money in my waking state. If this thought is hanging around, you are still in a dream. Dream is not yet over. See, friends. Therefore, dhyata dhyanam nate chittam nirlajjam dhyayate gatam. So what does it mean? We should stop meditation? No. Don't stop meditation. Stop doing meditation. Then live in meditation. What is the technique of living in meditation? Go to Bhagavad Gita. Only one verse you try. There Bhagavan says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannevatmana tushtaha stita pragyat tadochati. If our wisdom is steady under all conditions, our cool doesn't disturb, under every moment of our life, the blissful experience never gets corrupted, we are living in meditation. Therefore, what are the causes that we, instead of living in meditation, we live in frustration? Because of only one virus. And that virus is the virus of desire. Therefore, the teacher says, Yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. When we do not entertain any desire whatsoever, even once, that desire-free lifestyle is living in meditation. See, take an example to understand this point. If you have to catch a morning flight, let us say 7 o'clock, to go to London, so you have to report 3 hours before. And therefore you have to leave your house 1 hour before. Therefore you have to get ready, taking bath, become fresh. So you have to get up at 2:30. Because you have to get up at 2:30, you want to take your dinner and sleep early at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock you take dinner and sleep. Thereafter, from 8 o'clock up to 2:30, you wake up for 238 times. Again you feel it's already over. I hope I don't miss the point. One thought disturbs our whole night. How many thoughts we have? Therefore, yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajan. You know, you all must be chanting various mantras. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Or you may be chanting Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Or Om Namah Shivaya, Om, Om, Om. Try this mantra. I have nothing to do, nowhere to go. I have nothing to do, nowhere to go. You can never have a single thought. The moment we have to do something, the thoughts will start erupting like tsunamis. Because we have to go somewhere. See? Any person who has to go anywhere, he cannot be at peace. Therefore, friends, real meaning of meditation is this. Don't struggle in meditation. When you sit quiet, if the mind is disturbed, don't do that. Don't force yourself. Then read something, chant something, hum, keep on humming. Idea is remain effortless for as long time as possible. Remaining effortless is living in meditation. We breathe effortlessly. What does it mean? We are healthy. And if we have to have efforts in meditation, what is this funny kind of breathing? No, anywhere there are efforts, we are not normal. See, for the first time when we get classes, remember those days? I don't know what day. These days I am not able to read properly. Then the children at home say, Dad, these days what is this funny acting you are doing while reading? Why don't you read properly? No, darling, I am not able to see properly. Then go to the doctor. And what the doctor does? Efforts involved in focal length adjustment. Those efforts are negated by fixing one lens before your eyes. That's all. The doctor doesn't give us the vision. Only our inability to focally, to adjust our focal length, the inability is removed by fixing the glasses. We become effortless. Then there are no efforts. Therefore, this is the basic principle. Living in meditation means live effortlessly. And when we live effortlessly, life is a smooth glide. But when we are putting effort, how miserable it is. So, dhyata dhyanam nate chittam nirlajjam dhyayate katham. Shivam na janami katham vadami. Shivam na janami katham bhajami. Shiva aham shivaschet paramartha tattvam samasvarupam gaganopamam cha. I do not know who is Lord Shiva because he cannot be other than me. Therefore, katham vadami, how can I talk about Paramatma? I don't know anything because none of the attributes are available to the reality. See, friends. You know, in one of the Shivratris, I was in Varanasi. Every Shivratri I am there. Every time I try to go to Varanasi so that I can conclude, but every time I fail. Failure is guaranteed in my life. So I again come back. People go to Varanasi to die. I tried, never succeeded. Once when I went there, evening time there is a great puja. More than about a dozen pandits sit there. And there you know that Shiva's puja is not like Vishnu's puja, simple like, you know, Om Jai Jagadisha Re. Tremendous. Not one, two. About a dozen pandits. And you know, what they are chanting, Shiva also doesn't understand. But you know, the whole thing is so terrifying. And you become totally numb. Nothing disturbs. And when I was sitting there, after the whole puja was over, then as if I was drunk. Absolutely. Intoxication. And then I came with my friend, we had to go somewhere for dinner. I went there and sat down, and still eyes closed. It was like a hangover. Then that lady said, Swamiji, khana lagao. I didn't reply. Then what to do with Swamiji? He is not talking. Normally he is not like that. All the time, how something has gone wrong. Should we call doctor? I said, please sit down. I said, I'll tell you what Shiva Linga is. Then I started. I said, look here. A whole is absence of substance. In the morning class I mentioned this. A whole is an absence of a substance. Suppose you take a paper and in that paper you make a hole. I don't have paper. So if you make a hole in that paper, is that hole as an object? It is an absence of the substance, is it not? Point number one. Now point number two. If there is absence, what will be the hole in the absence? Presence. Absence of the absence is presence, is it not? So Lord Shiva is that presence, which is supporting even the absence. Unless I is present, the absence experience of the deep sleep cannot be established. This is the basic difference between the definition of sleep according to Patanjali and according to Vedanta. Patanjali defines sleep as abhava pratyaya lambana vritti nidra. So for Patanjali, sleep is a thought. And what Vedanta says, that which is supporting even the absence of the waking and the dream is the eternal presence. That presence thou art. Therefore, one of the technique is expose yourself to absence of anything. Absence of sounds. When we start negating and giving zero value to any sound, we start listening those subtle sounds which we will never be able to recognize. The cricket, those very small subtle sounds. Even those sounds, when they are being rejected, then we come to discover the reality which is supporting both the sounds and the silence, and therefore beyond them. Therefore, Shivam na janami katham vadami. Then Shivam na janami katham bhajami. How will I do the bhajan of Lord Shiva? There is no possibility. You know, it is something like what? Eyes are struggling to see themselves. When Patanjali says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha Yogaha, but he follows immediately by the next sutra. Only Chitta Vritti Nirodha is not yoga unless Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam. Unless we abide in our conscious being, simply suspension of the thought process cannot be considered as yoga. Otherwise, deep sleep will be yoga. If we are under anesthesia, will be also anesthetic yoga. It is not. Unless Swarupe Avasthanam, unless we abide in this reality which is supporting both the presence and the absence of things and beings. Therefore, Shivam na janami katham vadami, Shivam na janami katham bhajami. So when there is neither talking, nor doing bhajan, nor thinking, you have transcended the speech and the mind, then aham shivaschet paramartha tattvam. See, like the vision becomes important when the vision is wanting to see itself. In the same manner, mind becomes important when it is introverted to its own source. Dhyata and dhyana both disappear. Therefore, aham shivaschet paramartha tattvam samasvarupam gaganopamam cha. Now this one particular word is the heart of the whole Avadhuta Gita. You know, in our Kaivalya Lonavala, maybe last international yoga conference, they had asked me to speak for 3 days, morning 3 lectures, evening 3 lectures. So morning lectures we have taken, what is to be spoken, we don't know, so he will talk whatever he likes. So all the yoga students, teachers, research workers and international trained people, what do I talk? I said, okay, let us talk this time on Akasha Yoga. Something new. Otherwise, what is this? Every day, same vada pav, vada pav. Thoda to batal hoye. Then what is the Akasha Yoga? First, the Bhuta Akash. Gaganopamam. Second, the Chitta Akash. And third, the Chidakash. It is the journey from the gross space to the mental space to the conscious space. It is not journey of somebody, it is journey of the gross space to the mental space. It is the journey of the mental space to the conscious space. And therefore, when we do this bhavana, Gaganopamoham, it will not happen overnight. Work it on. Then we start getting guidance from within. What is the meaning of being space-like? So all the attributes of the space, they are ours. Space supports Earth, but never influenced by Earth. So the gross body and the gross world cannot influence me. When this cognizes, clicks, dispassion is natural. Presence or absence of things makes no difference. There is no obsession about anything or anything. And when this world is no more a botheration for us, we have practiced the Yama Sadhana according to Patanjali. Then from this gross space, we go to the mental space. Mental space is the one where we practice Niyama Sadhana. And what is the Niyam Sadhana? We are no more a problem to ourselves. Meaning, how we are a problem to ourselves? We are tired of our own mind and no thought ever bothers us. Good thought, don't worry, it will go. Bad thought, don't worry, it will go. See, friends. And when thus we take the position of the Chittakar, any thought may come, bubble, die. Who cares? And thus, when the thoughts are no more an issue for us, the thoughts do not get support from us. When the thoughts do not get support from us, they start slowly dying themselves. And the experience is like what? The experience is like a wave dived deep into its own source, the ocean. Will the wave experience another wave then? Chittam chitya vijaniyat takara rahitam yada takaro vishayadhyasaha japarago yathamano. Chitta, the mind, is essentially consciousness, chit, if objectivity is negated from the knowledge. Knowledge with objectivity is mind. Knowledge without objectivity is consciousness. See? And how the knowledge takes about the world? Only through the thoughts. And why the thoughts? Because we have given value and importance to something or somebody. If we have given value and importance to something or somebody, we have to devalue. How do we devalue? Be absolutely indifferent, neither good nor bad. Never try to please anybody, never try to help anybody, never try to make somebody happy. God has utterly failed. Therefore, remain by yourself. Thus, when we start remaining as the Chittakasha, longer and longer period, we become effortlessly withdrawn from the relative experience. And when we thus become effortlessly withdrawn from the relative experiences, the Chidakasha, which is the solid space, in which the meditation meditated upon, this Triputi dissolves. This is what that we are sitting here. Aham Shivaschet Paramartha Tattvam Samaswarupam Gaganopamam Cha. So we know the space, now add something more, because there is nothing like Paramatma. Anupameya. You know these stories which tell us in our scriptures, when Manu and Shatarupa did tapasya in Naimisharanya, and then Bhagwan Narayana came, and then Manu said, "Oh Lord, I want a son like you." Lord said, "I am so sorry, there is none like me. Then I will be born as a son to you. When you are born as Dasharatha, and Shatarupa is born as Kausalya, I will be your son." Now the story part you forget, understand the principle. There is none like the infinite. Infinite is always one without a second. See, friends. And therefore, when we have to somehow or other indicate the reality, we have to use so many examples and put them all together and make some kind of vague understanding. So the space example we can understand that everything is contained in the space, because space is emptiness, it can contain the things. Similarly, mental space, it can contain the thoughts, because mental space is empty. Now when we come to the conscious space, if there is other than the consciousness, nothing else is, then it has to be a solid space. See, this is what the teacher says here, Gaganopamam cha. So, Swarupa, Samaswarupam Gaganopamam cha. Naham tattvam samam tattvam kalpana hetu arjitam grahya grahaka nirmuktam swasam vedyam katam bhave. Naham tattvam samam tattvam. This I is not the reality. It is only for bringing your attention from the objectivity to the subject. See, if there is a reference of a wife, then the man can be referred as a husband. But if there is no reference of a wife, he has never married, do we call an unmarried person that he is a See friends, that aham, aham, aham we speak about because we are talking in the relative world. Like many people ask us, Swamiji, are you married? So we have to tell them, no, I am still happy. Therefore, it's not that unmarried. Happiness is the reality, not unmarried. Naham tattvam, samam tattvam, kalpana hetu varjitam. So in this absolute reality, aham versus idam, I versus you, this versus that, this relativity is totally absent. And therefore, grahya grahaka nirmuktam. There is none who is holding on to something, and there is none which is held by somebody. Therefore, nirvinirmuktam swasamvedyam katham ave. The one which is established by its own being. How it can be recognized through the sense organs, how it can be achieved through meditation, how it can be attained by doing tapasya. You know, human mind is naturally attracted towards tapasya and torture. It is natural condition. If somebody is observing fast, it's a great matter. You know, last 10 days you have not taken food. Why we appreciate? Because we take 10 times food per day. And he has not taken food 10 days. He is a great man. If somebody is standing on 2 legs, nothing great. He is standing on 1 leg, like a crane. Great man. Somebody is living in a comfortable house, but he is living only on the bed of thorns. Tapasya, great man. Only one problem, there are too many mosquitoes around. Sleeping on a thorn bed and getting tired of mosquitoes. But the real tapasya, according to Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, if you want to know the truth, hold on to Ramana Maharshi. There is no beating around the bush. Straight away. Ahamapetakam, nija vibhanakam, mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam. This is the highest tapasya, where this I disappears. Aham apetakam. Therefore, we have been again and again emphasizing, according to Vedanta, there is no liberation for I. Liberation from I. And is I who is suffering is an illusion, is not. To understand this point, take any experience of your life which had made you extremely miserable some time back in the past, not now. Now continue to be. Now that experience, when it happened, how miserable we were. The experience remains the same, we remain the same, the memory of the same experience is there, and yet we are not that miserable. See? Therefore, it is extremely necessary to come to recognize this principle. That in this experience, there is swasamvedyam. There is no effort involved. There is nobody who is knowing this truth. There is no division of knower, known and knowledge. Experiencer, experienced and experiencer. Anantarupam nahi vastu kinchit, tattva swarupam nahi vastu kinchit, atmaika rupam paramartha tattvam nahimsako vapi na api ahimsa. We normally talk about the reality as, oh, reality is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The reality is Satchidananda, it is absolute existence, it is absolute knowledge, it is absolute bliss. And thus, it becomes only a conceptual understanding objectively. Here the teacher says, Ananta Rupam Nahi Vastu Kinchit. There is nothing as infinite which is other than us. Infinite is that which excludes nothing and includes everything. But if we imagine, I have seen God who is Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayak, He cannot be other than you. Therefore, Ananta Rupam Nahi Vastu Kinchit and Tattva Swarupam Nahi Vastu Kinchit. And the reality, don't push it back and away from yourself, because Atmaika Rupam Paramartha Tattvam. The truth has to be recognized exclusively and only as one's essential nature. There is no other way. Nanya Pantha Vidyate Yanaya. There is no other way. Or else we'll be all the time only in the dreamland. I went and then I saw God and He came. And when He came, I asked Him, excuse me, where is your photo ID? And Bhagavan said, this is a photo ID. But there is no photo. I have no roop and form. Dear friends, don't get carried away by all these experiences. They may happen. But some rule, that which begins and ends is at the level of the mind. Instead of imagining that you are surrounded by the dacoits, if you imagine that you are surrounded by the gods, better. But that is not the truth. The truth is that which is never experienced as absence. Therefore, do we have the experience that we are nowhere or never? It cannot. Friends, the truth is known now and here. It is not then and there. It is now and here, it is the truth. It is then and there, it is nowhere. See? So all the spiritual practices remain in the absolute now. And this absolute now is never absent. If I ask you, you chanted last time Bhagavad Gita so nicely, can you chant the 14th chapter of Gita? Yes, I can. How it starts? I think I have forgotten. About past, there is a possibility of remembering and forgetting. About the future, there is a possibility of worries and imagination. In the present, no struggle. The moment you go in the past, struggle begins. The moment you go in the future, more struggle begins. Remain in the present, you are at home. All the spiritual practices, Atma Swarupam Paramartha. And when we come to our own being, movement stops. See, the movement of earth is very gross. The movement of the water is terrible. The movement of the fire is upward all the time. The movement of the air is in any direction. But when you come to the space, there is no movement. And because there is no movement, there is no past, present and future. Because there is no movement, there is no north, east, west, south. Because there is no movement, there is no last day, today and tomorrow. This eternal presence has to be recognized as one's own nature and not imagination of the God above the clouds. Atmaika rupam paramartha tattvam, and therefore na himsako vapi na api ahimsa. Many of us have got this funny notion like Arjuna had. Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhe Dronam Chamanasudana. How can I kill Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya? Arey Dumbo, who told you that you are going to kill? Maya Hatantam. I have already killed them. Nimitta Matra Bhava Samvyasachi. You take the free credit. See, friends, but we have that arrogance. I have done this thing. What will happen to them? See? One of my friends, he had a very good business, 30-40 young people were employed. And for some reason, the business has to be closed because of the government rules. Now when the business has to be closed, naturally those 30-40 boys are out of job. Then you start feeling, oh God, what will happen to them? I can't give them job, how they will live, how they will survive. And when he was talking to me, I said, yes, you are the one who is supporting the whole world. The one who is sitting above the clouds, he is only eating here. Let us not have this notion that we do anything to anybody. Things happen. But when this thing comes, I am doing good to somebody or I am doing bad to somebody, ubhautau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hantyate. Hanta ches manyate hatam. If somebody says that I have killed somebody or I am killed by somebody, both of them know not anything. Therefore, in this absolute reality, there is no himsakaha, there is neither the killer nor the killing. See, friends. Therefore, the only way is this: be in the present and be not even subjective. Vishuddhosi samam tattvam videham ajam avyayam vibhramam katham atmarte vibhrantoham katham punaha. See, Vishuddhosi, you are immaculate, absolute pure. Absolute pure means there is no impurity of duality. Samam tattvam equanimous, there is no change of any kind. Videham, free from the limitations of the body. Ajam, unborn, avyayam, unchanging. Therefore, katham atmarte vibhramam vibhrantaha. Why are you struggling? I want to realize, I want to realize. What will you do after realization? These funny notions. Till such time I want anything, that itself is a want. There was a great master who used to say, when one person approached him, sir, I want peace, I am extremely disturbed, I want peace. The master said, be cool, first tell me slowly, what you want? I want peace. The master said, remove the I and remove the want, what remains? See, friends, and yet we are struggling. Even if we want to meditation, that want for meditation will create more disturbance. You see, I want to do meditation from 9 to 9:30. And that day, I don't know why the people have to phone only this time. I told them that 9 o'clock I am sitting for meditation. Will the water ever get disturbed because there are waves? Will the water feel frightened because there is an ocean? In the same manner, when nothing in this world disturbs us, then our position is like the waters. Whether raining and falling heavily on the stones, or gurgling in a boiling teapot, or going up as a steam, or solidified as the icebergs, all these changes and modifications make no difference to the water. In the same manner, here the teacher tells, Vibhramam katham atmarte vibhrantoham katham punaha. Do not unnecessarily go on imagining, struggling, I want to realize, I have to realize. You are that, accept it. You know, one great master was told, sir, you call yourself Bhagwan. People call that we understand, but you also call yourself Bhagwan. How right it is. He said, why? I call you also Bhagwan. I accept it, you don't accept. How true and simple it is. Like, you know, many times when I talk to people, Mahatma ji, how are you? Swami, you don't call me Mahatma ji. Okay, how are you, Bevakoof? How are you? Don't call me Bevakoof. Therefore, Katham Atmarte Vibhrantaha Asi. Why are you deluded about your own self? And then say, I don't know why I am in this moha maya. You are not. You are supporting everything. Example is given. Ghate bhinne ghatakasham sulinam bhedavarjitam shivena manasa shuddhona bheda pratibhati me. Like the pot, when it breaks, that very moment the pot space merges with the total space. In the same manner, the Shivena Manasa Shuddhaha. In the same manner, he whose mind is immaculate and absolutely pure, he is Shiva himself. And what is a pure mind? Pure mind is that mind which does not entertain objectivity. Objectless awareness is the word used by J. Krishnamurti. When one is able to get established in this experience, objectless awareness, we are all the time aware of something. We are all the time having the knowledge of something. Something is existing, existence of the mic, existence of the table, existence of the flower, existence of health, existence of disease. We are not talking existence of anything. Existence itself. See? Therefore, Shivena Manasa Shuddhaha Na Bhedaha Pratibhati me. Will the space ever feel the difference between the north and the east? See? When we stand in front of the mirror and look into the mirror at the reflection, do we feel a difference that I am looking at something else? We may be looking at the reflection, but our experience is, I am looking at me. In the same manner, the one who is established in his experience, he may be looking at the world, but he is seeing himself in everything and being. Sarva bhutastamatmanam sarva bhutani jatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Bhagavad Gita defines the yogi in this language. He who is able to see himself reflected in everything and being, and includes everything and being in his own self, he alone is a yogi of the highest order. Therefore, Ghate Vinne Yatha Ghatakasham Sulinam Bhedavarjitam. In the same manner, when the conditioning of the Panchakoshas are deleted, when the conditioning of the Maya is no more effective, when the conditioning of the names and forms are dissolved, then like the conditioning of the pot disappears, the pot space merges in the total space. Be very attentive. Is it necessary for the pot to break so that the pot space can merge with the total space? It's not necessary. Exactly the same way. We don't have to destroy anything. We don't have to destroy our Panchakoshas. We don't have to destroy the names and forms of the world. We don't have to go and cry before the Lord. Like, although there is a pot, although there is a mention of a pot space, yet The part space is none other than the total space. In the same manner, whether supporting the conditioning of the names and forms and called as the world, or supporting the conditioning of the Panchakoshas called as the Jiva, or supporting the conditioning of the Maya and called as Ishvara, because of these three conditioning, although the one is referred in three ways, it doesn't mean it has ever become three. See, friends. Therefore, Shivena Manasa Shuddhaha na Bhedaha Pratibhati me. There is no bhed, there is no difference. See, friends. Now, if you just take a good example to understand this point, see, when a child is seen by his own mother and by an onlooker lady, there is a difference in the experience. And what is the difference? The onlooker lady looks upon the child as a child, but the mother looks upon the child as extension of her own being. From all practical point of view, the hunger of the child cannot be satiated by taking food by the mother. It is all true. But what is the experience? The experience is mother sees herself reflected in the child. See? This experience of the mother with reference to one child is the experience of the all great masters with reference to the whole world. Then alone Bhagavan can say, Name dveshosti na priyaha. There is none who is dear to me and there is none whom I hate. But if others start thinking that is their freedom, we belong to a democratic setup. Don't try to prove that you love somebody. Don't try to prove that you don't love somebody. Be yourself. Let whatever people think, let them do. And thus keep yourself with your own being and let the bliss that we are manifest in and through all our expressions of life. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.